Okay. I'm gonna play a game and just chat for a bit. Super simple. I was thinking recently about like, man, what is my favorite type of YouTube content? And it's the types of videos where my favorite creators will just sit and yap at a camera, and I'll like have it in my ears as I'm, working on something, or I don't know. I just find it kind of relaxing, and I want to talk about discouragement and art and how those coincide, because I have felt very discouraged in pretty much all of my art creative endeavors recently. And this is Alto's Adventure, by the way. This has been one of my favorite games for years. It's just super chill, relaxing. It's kind of like an endless runner type game. But anyways, I, for the first time, wrote this like big long script for a YouTube video. And I purchased like this green screen setup and lighting, and I was like, this is gonna be the best thing ever. I spent so much time on it. I invested some money into like some equipment, and so I got home from work last night, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shoot this video. I set up the whole green screen setup in my room, and the lighting was so bad. Like, I didn't realize until after, as I was trying to edit it. And I'm like, I gotta reshoot this. So by this point, it's like midnight, and I'm like, I'm moving this out to the garage. I'm gonna fix the lighting. So I moved the whole green screen setup out to the garage and reshoot it. And today, as I start editing it, I realized the audio was unusable. I forgot to put a pop filter on the mic, so it was just popping and crackling, and then I kind of hit this point where I'm like, I don't have it in me right now to try to record this a third time. I think, being a creative is all about, I'm not going to make that. Oh, well. I think being a creative is about adapting, so when something isn't working out, at some point, you just got to stop forcing it and be like, okay, what's something else I can do? And I may still recycle and use that script at some point, but I was like, just putting on a game and chatting for a bit sounds like the most refreshing, relaxing thing. So yeah, the video is kind of canned, at least for a bit. That's okay. I think I've just been, facing a lot of discouragement in my art recently, and sometimes it kind of catches up to you and kind of gets you, and I've just been feeling that a lot recently. I think the first time I really felt it majorly was last year, when I, spent a lot of time on my last album, The Incision, and, I think every creative at some point, wants their art to have some viral moment or take off at some point, because, it'd be ideal if it was our career and we were able to be financially dependent on it and didn't have to work a job and do it on the side. And, and as I was making the songs, I made all of them within like a 2-month period, which sounds really fast, and it kind of is, but I was also pouring hours into it every day. I'd work at it 6 days a week. I'd get home from work, and then I would just spend the rest of the evening. I think one night I was up till like 2 a.m. working on it. And I don't know, I think I just get super, super obsessive about things that I'm working on, to the point where I will like kind of neglect, other things like eating 3 meals a day and getting proper sleep, just because I just like forget to do it, and I'm just so focused on that thing. And even as a kid, I was never a procrastinator when it came to like homework. Like, I would get home from school and I like couldn't do anything else. I couldn't hang out with friends until I got it done. It wasn't that my parents were forcing me to. It felt like I couldn't rest until I got it done. So it's often the way I feel about, like making an album, where it's like, I can't rest until this thing is done. And it's not a very healthy or sustainable approach. And it always, every time, leads to me feeling burnt out, super burnt out after the project is out. Unsurprisingly, that's what happened again. And I didn't make music for like months, which is kind of uncommon for me. I mean, usually I take a break and there's a bit of an off season, but this time it was like making music sounds exhausting right now. Like it sounds like the last thing I want to do. And I was just kind of reflecting like, man, why do I feel this way? Like music is like my thing. Like why is that like the most unappealing sounding thing right now? And it was just from burnout. So I don't know. I think eventually I want to figure out a more healthy pattern and routine when it comes to making music, where maybe I just sit down and do it once or twice a week, but I at least have a consistent flow, if that makes sense, because otherwise I just get so burnt out. And also, this was my first time like really trying to promote my music, and I think in the past I would just kind of release the album and make a post on Instagram saying it was out, but I was like, I want this album to really have a chance at taking off or having something go mainstream or to have some sort of viral moment, So I was doing TikToks and reels like daily leading up to the release. How am I supposed to make the jump? Come on. So yeah, I was just like daily, posting. I'd get home from work and then I'd spend like an hour like shooting a reel and editing it and putting it out. And, I don't think I've ever worked that hard on anything in my life, with the whole, the songs themselves and then promoting it. I was exhausted, but I'm like, if I stay consistent enough, something is eventually bound to take off. And it never did. And it kind of like killed my spirit, because I was just like, man, like you'd think that your hard work and dedication would eventually pay off. And I'm like a little over 5 years into, doing music, and 23 years old. And I guess at some point you feel like you want to have something to show for like your friends and family. You see them on holiday and you want to be able to tell them like, yeah, the music thing is going great. The hard work is paying off. But when there hasn't been any like substantial growth as far as numbers, obviously I've grown as an artist and my talent and skill, but when you don't have anything to show for it, it can feel kind of embarrassing and discouraging. Excuse me. So I think that's just kind of been this rut I've found myself in. And oh, that was crazy. So I don't know. I don't think I have. Oh gosh, dang it. It's so hard to talk and do this at the same time. I don't think I have much more to say. I want to do it all, man. That's my issue. I don't have enough time to do it all, but like I want to do YouTube. I want to make music. Someday I would even love to like act in something. I want to make videos about games that I like video essays about games that I like, or like do playthroughs. Like that's always been so inspiring. And I've always, recently I've been like, okay, should I make different YouTube channels? Like, should I have one YouTube channel for music and another YouTube channel for like if I talk about games, and another? But I'm like, I want all of it to be under like the Pillow Fort name. Like I want all of it to just be me, and to not have to like, categorize it to like a million different channels. I don't know. I just think that's kind of cool for everything to live in one place. I don't know how the algorithm will like it, not having a consistent, maybe style of video or whatnot, but I don't know. Just getting all the thoughts out at the moment. So I guess thank you for watching or listening, and maybe I'll do another video like this again. Okay, I gotta end this with like the coolest death possible. Here we go. I'll see you next time.